Bonjour mes amis, I'd like to do a little video about my 4 Seiko divers, and let's start with the cheaper one. It's about $200 for the Seiko SKX, very famous. You find this in any collection, sometimes very expensive collections, but everyone enjoys a little SKX. This is the Japanese version, which has a slightly different markings on the dial and a made in Japan inscription at the bottom. This is not a hacking movement and you cannot wind it manually, but if you wear it every day, that's no problem. It doesn't have a huge power reserve, I suppose. So yeah, you best not leave it for 2 days because it will run flat on the power reserve. It has a very distinct look. It's simple in execution, but it's just it's a tool, and it's great water resistance of 200 meter, and it's a proper diver tool. What I like the least about this watch, although it has a great style and I like the crown guard detail, is that it's very stocky. You know, the lugs are very short, so if you put it, for example, like I did, on this rubber strap with orange stitching that ties up with the writing on the dial, it really sticks out on your wrist, and it's not a very good look. I've ordered a Jubilee bracelet, which I'll put on soon, and then I think the watch will work a lot better. Some people say it's too big, and there's a smaller version, the 013, but I think this one is actually not big. My wrists have a 6 3/4 inch circumference, which is 17 centimeters, and to me, yeah, it wears pretty short. It wears pretty small because of the short lugs. So lovely watch. If you're on the fence about it, just go for it. If you have $200, or if you only want, if that's all you have to spend, you know, it's certainly not wasted money, and this watch can probably last you a lifetime. It's very sturdy. Now, one step up, if you have more like $350 to $400 budget, is the Samurai. As soon as I saw it and I tried it on, I had to have it because although it looks like a sort of a big squarish watch, and you could certainly understand when you look at it why one would think that, because of these angled sides and this very butch crown guard. When you have it on, it just sticks to your wrist, and it's beautiful. With this accordion style strap from Seiko, the watch will hug your wrists like very few watches can. So it's really a fun watch to wear. It's a comfortable watch to wear, and I absolutely love the looks of the waffle dial. I love the hands on it, the red seconds hand and the hour. I think this is the most perfect dial of the Seiko range. The bezel is beautiful. Look at those two colors. I wanted to have once a Pepsi bezel, and that was the right watch to get it from. It's downward angled. I love the detail on the bezel, the knurling here. The bezel is very stiff on this watch. It's the only negative of this watch. For the rest, the movement is incredibly accurate. It's the 4R15, so this one is hacking, and you can hand wind it. The crown I love it. This is my favorite crown. It's great knurling on it, very smooth, very easy to unwind. Let's see, very smooth. I like how fast it is to change the time. Have a look at this in the second position. Look, the time. You know, if you forgot to wear it for a few days and you just want to go 1 day or 2 days beyond, you don't bother changing the date. You can just change the time. It's so fast, so much fun. And to put the crown back in, there's no awkward there's no awkward resistance. It's very easy to press back in. Not as good as my Omega Seamaster, I would say, but nearly there, nearly there. Really a lovely watch for the price. Yeah, as I said, this one is incredibly accurate. This one has been running exactly on time, not +1, not -1, exactly on time for weeks, and that is 6 months after purchasing it. So that is very special. Really, really cool watch. So I thought this would be my only Seiko diver. And then Seiko reissued the 62 mass, their original diver from 65, and they made a very expensive version of it, and then they made an inspired by version, which is bigger, but keeps many of the styling cues, mainly this the case style, which is very unusual. And I love the profile of the case with the polished details. Obviously great polished work on this watch. And it's quite a heavy watch, but this one is okay. The blue one comes with a rubber strap, which is slightly better than the one you have on the Samurai. It's the same look, but it's softer and leaves a lot of slack, because I have a fairly tiny wrist, so I have quite a lot of excess material. So I've looked at different strap options, and this one is just gorgeous. Look at this. I think it's the same brand as the one I have on the SKX here, but this one just ties in with the watch perfectly. And with the blue of the sunburst dial. Look at this. And so yeah, look at the dial, sunburst dial. I love the bezel on here. Now it's all up to you. I mean, if you want a watch that's a bit more subdued, go for one of these. If you want something with a bit more color, go for the Samurai. And if you want something a bit more I don't know, out there, this one is quite something. Look at the colors. It feels like you're in an ocean. Even if you never take this watch diving, you kind of feel like you're diving. And as you can see here, there is AR coating, because this is the only one of those watches with sapphire, crystal, and AR coating on the underside, which is a great upgrade. Yeah, it is slightly domed. So looks wise, this watch doesn't disappoint. I think that the applied markers could have all been rectangles, you know, here, instead of being profiled like this. It would look more like the original watch. This watch also comes in a black version, which is more in the spirit of the original 62 mass. But the black version has the stainless steel bracelet, and it's extremely heavy. So I don't think you're gonna wear that one the whole day. This one is okay, you know, but it is quite top heavy, no matter what you wear it with. The other drawback of those watches is sometimes the QC, the quality control, can be a bit poor. This one is perfectly aligned, but the other one that I saw has misaligned applied markers. So do check before you purchase this watch, or do make sure that you can return it if you buy it online. Also, I think the styling here of at the center of the hands is not very nice, those black details. So it's a couple of details, and the crown is not signed. I think it's a couple of details that Seiko might address when they revisit this watch in the next iteration. But nevertheless, it's quite unique in all the Seiko range. And when you go to a Seiko shop and you see this watch in person, it looks very different from everything else, and it is very hard to resist. And obviously I couldn't resist, and I had to have one. Yeah, very, very lovely watch. So as I said, I did try the black version with the stainless steel bracelet, and it was way too heavy. But my AD, my local Ottawa's dealer, also had this. Top of the heap, this is the mighty Shogun, or I should say Shogun, in a proper Japanese pronunciation. And wow, when I saw it, I was like, huh, yeah, that's what I was looking for. I wanted something a bit like the Rolex Submariner, but which was totally also its own thing, and totally Seiko. And also, when I put it on, it's ridiculously light. I mean, it's a big watch, but when you wear it, the profile actually doesn't make it look that big. And the weight is just fantastic. So I've worn this watch for full days, and at the end of the day, you don't want to take it off. Some watches you have to take them off, especially if you have these aftermarket, not very expensive rubber straps. You know, on a hot day in Hong Kong, you kind of want to take it off at the end of the day. But this thing, you barely feel it, and taking it off just makes you feel sad because it's so much fun. It's a hardlex crystal. It is not sapphire crystal. Look at the beautiful casework here, the details, the polished details here, very squarish. It's quite a square design. The watch, I like the crown guard. The crown is gorgeous as well. Nice details, and signed crown, of course. The bracelet, I personally like it very much. I love it. I have no problem with it. I like the styling of it. Yes, it's push pins, but I like the clasp. It's light, and it does its job. No problem there. I don't want to put this watch on the NATO. I don't think it looks as good as it is, because it ties up. Bracelet ties in with the watch better, you know, because you have these solid end links, and you have a better profile. I don't like when a watch sticks out from because those. You see, here you have drilled lug holes, which is another plus with this watch. They're quite low, so if you put something like this rubber strap, you're gonna have a big gap here, and I don't like that so much. Now, the best thing to me about this watch is the dial. I love those hands. It is the best hands of any Seiko. I love the second hand. I just can't get enough of it. I love to watch that second hand. I'm not sure what you call that style. And I love the hour hand as well, with the separation in the middle. The applied markers, gorgeous. All of them are nice. The one on top, the one at 9 o'clock, really lovely. The bezel action is good. I can line it up. Yeah, it has a bit of the bezels are never perfect with the Seiko. They always kind of have some play, but I can line it up at least, and it's a satisfying movement on that bezel. I like the knurling on it. Yeah, if I had known that I would own this watch one day, I would not have purchased those three. I have to be fair here, and tell you the truth. Of what I feel right now. Okay, it's the last one that I got, so maybe that's the honeymoon phase talking. But yeah, when you have a titanium watch, if you can afford the $900 that it costs, or you can maybe get them closer to 800, I think you should just buy it, because the feeling is amazing. The looks of this Shogun is amazing. I think it's better than the Sumo. The Sumo has a bit of a goofy bezel to me. I mean, it's nice. It's a style. It's a cool style, with the bigger numerals and the larger bezel. But this one is just it. You know, it's the business. It is perfection. So there you go. These are my 4 Seiko divers. There's no other model that I really look into. I don't like the paddy versions too much because they just add too much stuff to it, and it's just cost more for not much for the same watch. I'm not the turtle look. I understand why people like it. I haven't gone there myself personally. So this is my selection. Yeah, I love them all. I think I have a softer spot for obviously the Shogun, and maybe the samurai. To me, it's so special, so original. But this one, the SPB053, is also very original, and it has more of a vintage inspiration behind it, especially on the case. So yeah, those three are very special, and the SKX, I think it's a classic. You gotta have it, but I'm not gonna wear it all that much. You know, maybe it will be a great gift for a family member. At some point, I think I'm gonna see myself wearing the Shogun the most. So there you go. This was my review of 4 Seiko divers, my selection. If you have any questions, any comments, please put them down below. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, and I speak to you in the next video, in the next one. Bye bye.